Hey everybody, how you doing? Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. And today we're going to talk about the holiday Uber earnings. And it really wasn't that great. But before that, I just want to say I just recorded a whole video with the microphone turned off. So anyway, let's get into it. All right. I hope everybody had a great holiday. If you were driving for Uber, I hope you did well. I hope your areas panned out a little bit better than ours did. Well, at least for me. But still, wasn't terrible. Wasn't terrible, but just definitely not up to par. Last year was 10 times better. Legitimately 10 times better. Anyway, we all know on New Year's Eve that a lot of your riders are going to be intoxicated. This year, I didn't have that problem. I only had one group that was a little outside themselves. I can't show you the video, but it was fun. But normally your ratings will take a big hit, right? The two things you got to worry. Well, actually, the three things that you deal with on a big holiday weekend or a big event weekend is people who wake up the next day and realize that they spent a whole lot of money to get where they had to go. So your rating will take a hit because they'll complain and come up with a reason, why you were wrong and they weren't. The other thing too is your cancellation and acceptance ratings. Those are huge as well. So actually, my ratings went up as of right now. Where we dropped a 4 star and picked up a 5 star. Still got this 2 star hanging out over my head, which I've said it in the past. I earned that 2 star. But whatever. Okay. My acceptance rating got beat up a little bit, but there was a reason behind this. So, first and foremost, I was getting stacked, right? So what'll happen is you'll get into an area and it'll be a lot of short trips, right? Now, short trips aren't bad because you're constantly going, right? 1 mile, 2 mile, 1 mile, 2 mile. Nothing wrong with that. But it was New Year's Eve. And on New Year's Eve, you're expecting surge. Well, there's no way for a driver to know what the surge is and if you're getting paid the right amount of surge. So what you wind up doing is declining rides, right? And that drops your acceptance rating. The other thing, and this is where the majority of my declines came from over the weekend, was I was out on Fort Lauderdale Beach, and I was getting requests to the football game down at Hard Rock Stadium. Well, first of all, that's 10, 12 miles away. It's number one. Number two, you have 25, 30 minutes to get there. That's another reason. And sometimes, even if the surge is good, like 20, 30 bucks, you can't get into the stadium. I mean, if you're from the area, there's only one way in and out of the stadium on the east-west corridor, and that's 199th Street. If you try to go around it and come up north on 27th Avenue, then all you can do is get to the Uber pickup lot, which is lot 22, which is a mile away from the stadium. These people ain't trying to walk. And if you do try to come in, you can only come in from the east to 199th. Police officers there are turning you away. So you have no way of getting to these riders. There used to be a time where Uber had a lot right across the street from the stadium. And they've moved that around a couple of times, but they really put us out there. So yeah, I declined every single one of those rides. I didn't care how much the surge was because it was going to be impossible. Now, the other thing too is you start your way down there and next thing you know, the rider cancels. Maybe he cut a cash ride. Maybe he decided to cancel and see if he could get something quicker. Maybe he drops Uber and tries Lyft. I mean, it's not worth it. And of course, Uber's algorithm doesn't see that. So I paid the penalty, 65% acceptance rate. It's okay, I'll get it back. And then the other thing was the cancellation rate. Well, I canceled twice. There were reasons for that. Again, one of them I accepted accidentally. Guy was a 4.2 rider. It was a premier trip. There was no surge attached. So he earned that 4.2 from somebody. And the other one, let's just say there were minors and they were drunk. And instead of hitting unaccompanied minors, because I had another request coming in while I was canceling that one, I just hit, accepted trip by accident. That's just the way it is. So anyway, enough of that. let's get into the earnings because I know that's what everybody's here for. So we'll start with this past week. That today is Sunday, so it ends today. I'll probably get out. I've got a private client coming in at 6 o'clock tonight, and then I'll throw on the app once I get them where they got to go. And I don't know. Who knows? This might hit 1,000 this week. Who knows? Last year, I did about 1,200 on New Year's Eve. The big difference between last year and this year, I mean, there was no traffic again. There was little to no traffic, right? For me to be able to go from Delray Beach to South Beach, which is usually about 100, an hour and 20 minutes on a regular day, took me an hour and 3 minutes to get down there. I wasn't speeding. There was just no traffic on the highways. Express lanes were open, and hell, I really didn't even need to take the express lane. There were no accidents, no nothing. This was like 8, 9 o'clock at night. We'll see it in a minute. There was no traffic on South Beach, same as last year. Fort Lauderdale and Fort Lauderdale Beach, Las Olas area, there wasn't a lot of traffic. Where last year, that's where all the action was. Now, Delray had some traffic. And I guess you could say where there was money, there was action. And I don't mean that in a condescending way, but if you're from the area, Palm Beach County has a lot of money, a lot of old money. They're going to do whatever the hell they want to do anyway. But as you kind of got down into South Beach, nobody goes to South Beach anymore. They go to Wynwood, or, if you weren't here for the game, you just weren't partying like that. So anyway, this Monday, 4.5 hours, did 5 trips, $75. Caveat to this. Monday morning, I went out about 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m., and I sat for 2 hours. I drove around for 2 hours anticipating people flying back home, flights going out. Didn't happen. I didn't get any requests on Uber or Lyft. I even turned on Lyft XL because y'all know that's all I got right now. And I got no requests. So that was 2 dead hours. The afternoon, though, I went out 2.5, almost 2.5 hours. 5 trips, $75. So not terrible. Pretty good, actually, if you want to think about it. Tuesday didn't work. Wednesday, 3 hours, 4 trips, $145. To me, that's good money. I don't care what anybody says. Thursday, went out for 2 hours, did 3 trips, $125. Now, Thursday, I did a Panther game because the NHL put everything on hold for like 10 days. So the Panthers ran with a game on the 30th, the 31st, and then today, the 29th, the 30th. 31st, no games. And then they had one yesterday afternoon, which I was just too worn out to go to. So 3 trips, 2 hours, $125. I'm telling you, you got to make your time worth it. All right, so here we go. This was New Year's Eve. I got started about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I got done around 2 o'clock in the morning. So the hours here, because there were a couple of times I took a little break. You got to stop, use the restroom, fuel up, grab something to eat, whatever. This was a pretty good day. But it's less than half of what I made last year. And the thing about it is, and this is what I wanted to show you guys, is that 350 surge. This, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? I'm, again, out on Fort Lauderdale Beach. I get a premiere ride over at the Hard Rock Stadium, or at the Hard Rock Casino, right? It took me a good little ways to get there. It'll show you it here. We're going to paid for me. So I traveled 7 miles to get there. It took me 12 minutes. No traffic. 2 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Eve. No traffic. The surge was there, so I figured I would take the ride, right? Well, look at this. It only paid me the 350 surge. The surge didn't multiply. We went, what we do? Wait, where's it at? Okay, we went 11 miles. So it should have surged up more, but it didn't. And then here's the other thing, which I very rarely ever do, but I want to show you 2 rides. Uber got paid, even though we didn't get paid. Uber made $40 on that ride. I made 47. Like, that's unacceptable on a New Year's Eve. Completely unacceptable. They're getting half the fare? That's insane. 675 surge. There were no drivers out because the riders were telling me, man, we've been waiting 20, 30, 40 minutes to get a ride. So that tells me there's no drivers out. Now, you'll also notice Premier, 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 Premier. I shut off XL. XL was not surging at all compared to what I was getting with Premier. Premier was surging better. So that's where I stayed. But you can see a lot of these trips weren't really long trips, right? That was 11 miles, a mile there, 6 miles there, 2 miles here, 6 miles there, not even a mile there. So this is one of those that I canceled. 2 miles here. Grand scheme of things, it was fine. 8 miles there for $40. I'm sorry, I did get an 880 surge. Last year I was getting $20, $30 surges. This year it just wasn't there. $9 surge, $1.25 surge. But the big trip I wanted to show you was this one here. Okay? This is the one. This just pissed me off. The trip, Delray, Collins Avenue, right? Says an hour and 11 minutes. It was an hour and 3 minutes. I know how long it took me. I made $116 on the trip from Uber prior to the $38 tip, right? So, but what I wanted to show you was this. Customer wound up paying $198 for that trip. I got $116 out of it, right? You can't count the tip because the tip is on top of what Uber charges. This is ridiculous. They're not putting anything on the line. This rider told me, it was 2 women. First they were going to the Faena Hotel, decided to go to Casa Tua, which is a very, very good restaurant. If you're ever on South Beach, it's on James Street or James Avenue and 17th Street. You need to go to Casa Tua. Like, why would you charge that much knowing that there was a 275 surge attached to this and then not surge it up and not allow the driver to make the money? I don't know, Uber. It's pretty piss poor. Anyway, I don't want to get into a whole bitch session about this, but so I wound up out there. On app time was 9 hours and 10 minutes. I never once turned on Lyft. I opened up the app once. I saw nothing but blank screens, no orange, no primetime zones, no nothing. So I didn't do anything with Lyft. Didn't even bother turning on. 5:33 for 9 hours, which was more like 11 hours, 12 hours. So even at that, ROI is good on this one. Okay, we'll be done with that. Christmas. Really, really disappointed on Christmas, right? So that Wednesday hockey game, one trip. Again, $75 for the one trip. This same thing, Wednesday morning. I expected flights to be flying in. Went out early in the morning. Nobody leaving, nobody coming in. At least I wasn't getting them. And this was wide open. Both Uber and Lyft, XL and Premier. Nothing. So went to the hockey game. Got a ride. Took off. That was it. Christmas Eve. 8 trips, 8 hours, $212.53, 30 of which was tipped out, which is good. Just not a lot of rides, right? Just not a lot of rides. Didn't even bother Christmas Day. Wasn't even worth it to me. So I guess what I'm trying to get to here is earnings were way down, just way down. My earnings were way down this year. I'm hoping, and if anybody's watching this, I know it's a little long video, I'd appreciate, let me know down below in the comments how you did in your area. Did you notice the traffic was really light? Were you getting a lot of rides? And, basically how much money did you make? Did you do okay? Or are the big days of Uber Black Friday over? Anyway, take care. I've got to go shoot the video now for the trading stuff with the computers and everything, because this channel is going to be a dual channel. It'll be Uber, and it'll also be trading, desk setups, things of that nature. Because in 2022, bro and ladies, don't depend on the rideshare or the gig apps. They're going to find a way to screw you over. Anyway, peace out. See you next time.